Hey, you guys. Welcome to the first episode of the CNA Unfiltered Podcast. I am your host, Angela Tucker, and I am excited to get this ball rolling. It is September 1st, 2020, you guys. Sorry, I have iced coffee. All right, so let's get into this first episode. I am really excited. I have notes because I tried to record this episode already and it got off the rails very quickly. So I had to write some notes and now we're going to re-record the episode. All right. So I have been really into podcasts here lately. I'm doing an 11-day stretch at my facility right now. So I work 3 to 11 in a skilled nursing unit. When I get off at 11, I got about a 15-20 minute drive depending on college traffic. Annoying. So depending on the traffic, some days I like to listen to music when I'm driving home. Other days here lately, I've just, been wanting to listen to something informative, even though true crime, that I guess is informative, but at the same time, it's taboo, I guess you could say for it. Anyways, rambling. I was looking on Spotify at different medical podcast shows because, I listened to a true crime podcast all night the other night in a Bluetooth headset in my ear to try and go to sleep. And I woke up having nightmares because of, the person telling the story ended up happening to me and subconsciously. So I decided to take a different route. Oh my gosh, a different route the other night and was, trying to find a nice, cool medical podcast to listen to. So, while scrolling around on Spotify on said medical podcast, search engine, I found a whole bunch like surgeons, nurses, doctors, physicians, and then going like nursing school, anatomy and physiology, NCLEX, HESI, all of those things, which I'm into that stuff too because I've started prereqs for my nursing degree, trying to get that under control first. Anyways, so while going through, my watch is on. I'm so sorry. So while going through all these different categories and different podcasts, I noticed one very common thing. There are no podcasts, at least I could find, that are for the CNAs. No podcast. So I am here to start said podcast because, in my opinion, in a lot of the nurses that I worked with at the hospital, I will get into that in a minute. A lot of them, any nurse will tell you, they'll say, you guys are the first ones they see because we come in. Like nurses, they do come in early, to go through the med card, do their check off, shift change. So while they're doing that, we're getting our report, we're doing, if you work in a great facility, you're doing walking rounds. So a walking round is when you go into a room, like you have your list of patients or residents or clients that you're taking care of. So you're going to the room, you're introducing yourself, and the person that's handing you report is telling you what all has happened with said patient, resident, client, so on today. Like they are already seeing your face and realizing like, hey, I'm Angela, I'm going to be your CNA for the day. I'll be with you in a minute after I finish getting a report. Something like that. So a lot of them will say that we're the first people that these patients, residents, clients that they see. We're the first face, So we're pretty important too, you guys. I'm self-validating. I guess that's what you would call it. But I have reasonable, like, it's not just me. Everybody's validated. CNAs you're important. We're important, And everybody else too. Don't get me wrong. My mom is a nurse. A great nurse. I actually worked with her. She is a great nurse. I know a whole bunch of great nurses, doctors, surgeons. I've met them all when I worked at the hospital. All of us are doing our part. We're all doing our part. So I had to put that out there so I didn't seem like I'm, But, again, I didn't see a podcast for CNAs, This is a safe place. Because we deal with being hit, kicked, bit, I've had my fair share. Like, it's a shit job. I mean that figuratively and literally. It's a shit job, dude. So I wanted to create a safe space for CNAs, PCTs, DCAs, PCAs, home health aides, all of us alike together, I don't think you guys are less than me because I have a certificate, certified nursing assistant certificate. I don't think you're less because I have done that. I have been a DCA, and a home health aide. I've done that. You guys are important too. It's a stepping ladder. That's literally what this is just a stepping ladder. You can decide like, oh, my ultimate goal is to get my CNA and just be okay with that. That's fine. Or, some people like to get the CNA first so that way they can go like, oh, I've dipped my toes in it. I want to further next. Like I want to get my LPN or LVN. Do that and then decide to go to RN, just keep climbing up the ladder. That for some people. Or you just enjoy helping people at home. You can literally be a home health aide. You can be a home health aide. Like there's nothing wrong with any of it. All of this work is so important, All right. Let me stop my rambling on that. I was just letting you know, like, my reasoning for starting this podcast is a safe place. We need to vent, But there are also some great times, challenging times, funny times. So I am here. I have a pen. Oh, I'm going to keep pushing it. But I am here to let you guys know the real unfiltered shit. All right. That is delicious. I love Dunkin' Donuts. So I mentioned a little bit when I was ranting, that I was a DCA before I was a CNA. So I worked at a facility a couple years ago. So in Virginia, if you want to work for an assisted living facility, they're supposed to put you through a training course. It's like X amount of hours to get what's called a direct care aide certificate, or a PCA, which is a personal care aide. So you get a certificate that is only okay to use in an assisted living facility. You can't go up to a skilled nursing facility and be all like, "Hey man, I've got my DCA. Let me come work for you." No, that's not how that goes. Skilled is when you need your CNA. Okay? I mean, yeah, I worked in the first assisting facility I worked in was very heavy, it was a private facility. Private. which means like they got away with a lot of shiesty stuff. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, half of those people that were in there should have been in an actual skilled unit, you know. Skilled. These people need Hoyer lifts and everything, and like we could not lift them. Like, it was bad. It was very stressful. It took a toll on my mental health the first couple months I worked there. But, you know, got my stuff together, and in 2018 took another job at a different assisted living facility. This one was part of a company chain, so there were multiple different facilities under the same name in different states, you know. So management one was 1,000 times better than a private assisted living facility. The people back on the lockdown memory care unit were actually able to, you know, walk around, you know, were able to be like a ×1 assist, you know. They hold onto the bar, they'll stand up type deal, right? So that's what assisted living is supposed to be like. But at a private facility, they get away with a whole bunch of stuff. It's honestly terrible, but the new place I worked at was great, going good, worked there for a year, you know. Well, after that, I decided, I've been a CNA for almost 6 years. I'm just going to put that out there now. Well, excuse me. I've been a CNA not entirely for 6 years. I've been a CNA for 3 years. And then I was a DCA, had my DCA certification, and was working as a DCA for an additional like 2.5 years. So collectively, I've been in the healthcare field for almost 6 years, like 5.5, almost 6 years. So after the 1 year at the nice assisted living facility, I decided I wanted to further my career. You know, I wanted to take that next step and get my CNA. Oh, excuse me. So a lot of the facilities around the place where I live, a lot of big facilities will post up on Indeed, CNA class starting so-and-so, sign up now. Well, what they do is when you take one of those classes, they pay for it. But technically they don't pay for it. They take it out of your paycheck and tell you that, you know, I paid for it, you know. But really, you're the one paying for it. It's just coming out of your paycheck. So it's like a meh situation. Anyways, I wanted to pursue my CNA, but I didn't want to fork out $3,000 to go to the local VOTEC school. No, was not having it. So as soon as one of these facilities posted on Indeed that they were doing a CNA program, I applied immediately. And because I worked as a DCA for a couple years before applying for the CNA program, I was accepted in, and I was top of my class because I had a head up. I knew what I was doing, you know. Of course, there were some things that I didn't know the proper way of doing because I never had that proper education when I got my DCA, you know. So after I got my CNA, I spent 2 years at the hospital. I was what you call a PCT, which is a patient care technician role. Okay? Probably my favorite role, to be honest. I love med-surg. I love everything about med-surg. It is fantastic, except for when you have detoxers. Let me tell you, this podcast, you're going to be hearing a lot of my stories from when I worked at the hospital because they are something. Let me tell you, they are something. But, anyways, I worked for 2 years as a PCT, my favorite thing in the world, you know. I immediately got my CNA license, dropped down PRN status, which means pick up anytime I want, at the place that I got my CNA through because, to be honest, it was not a good facility. It was not. So I was like, my ultimate goal is to work at the hospital, I want to be a PCT. My mother was a CNA, then got her PCT, worked at the hospital. Now she is a nurse, a badass nurse. So dropped PRN status because that was part of my 6 months. I could ride out my 6 months from doing my CNA program through them. And applied at the hospital. Got on immediately. Again, experience. Even though I just got my CNA, I do have patient care experience. So, worked at the hospital for 2 years. I was the best. When I tell you the best. Phlebotomist on my unit. Oh yeah. You heard that right. If I still had touch with half of these nurses that just graduated when I was working there, I would have direct proof from them telling you guys that I was the best because I had to train them how to draw blood. Because, when you're in the nursing program, they don't really focus much on drawing blood. They focus a lot on inserting IVs, which is a totally different thing. Totally different. So I got to do that. I got to do EKGs, take people down to ultrasound, take them down to x-ray, insert Foleys, insert rectal tubes. I'll get into the whole rectal tube situation in a different episode because that itself, it will scar you. It scarred me, and it actually happened to me, like everything I will tell you. So yeah, worked as a PCT, did all that great stuff. I'm actually really wanting to go back to being a PCT, but I'm working at a skilled nursing home right now. We are severely short-staffed, so I've been picking up, which is why I'm doing 11 days straight. It's supposed to be my weekend off, so I'm supposed to have Saturday and Sunday off. Well, we got offered a nice little bonus. I'm not going to tell you how much. That is inappropriate. But we do get offered a nice little bonus. When you work at a facility that actually offers you a bonus to, pick up said shift, that, to me, that's, you should want to work. You should really want that extra money, Personally, that's just me. So I've been picking up like crazy, and I've only been there since like July 19th. I've been picking up and taking advantage of these bonuses, girl. Let me tell you. That extra money, it's great. But I've been working in a skilled nursing facility. It's been a long time, actually, since I've worked in a skilled nursing facility since leaving the hospital. And it is definitely a trying time. Definitely a trying time. That's for sure. But, money's money, and I do actually enjoy taking care of my patients. I work in a skilled nursing, and it's also a rehab. So, I enjoy it for the most part, but definitely it is trying. It will push you, and sometimes for a lot of people, it does break them. It will break you. A lot of people can't handle, they can't handle, like, when someone is combative, they can't handle that pressure. They can't handle someone that, just yells for no reason that we know of. They could have dementia or Alzheimer's, something like that, and they just yell. But we don't know what they're yelling for, A lot of people can't take that because they're like, they won't stop yelling. They won't stop yelling. And it's like, just try your best and offer them, do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you want a snack? You just offer them. And a lot of people can't handle that. And a lot of people, especially, like, they can't handle someone who is in their right mind literally talking to them like they are trash. I have seen a lot of girls, like, get shit on, basically, like, verbally get shit on. And, they crack and they say something back. I have heard a lot of CNAs dish it back. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not condoning it, but, you know, like, do not say something you know you are not supposed to do. You can't tell this woman, last name D. You can't tell Miss D, oh, hey, go F yourself. Like, no. No, nuh-uh. No, we don't do that. We do not do that. You can simply say, I understand where you're coming from, and I will give you a minute to calm down. And just, you know, walk away. Come back cool, calm, and collected. We never cuss out a patient, a resident, a client. Just don't. It's not okay, you guys. Now, when you get in the car or when you come home, that's a different thing. Never say their real name because, you know, HIPAA violations. This show, none of the names I say in this show will be real people's names. Never. But, like, when you get in the car, when you get home and you're just trying to decompress, like, tell your spouse, hey, man, I had a bad day. Misty yelled at me and I told her to go F herself. Like, okay. No. It was very stressful, but we don't say that, you know. You just don't. It's not okay. These people are looking for you for help. But some of them do take advantage. Some of them will take advantage and, like, you know, try to walk all over you. So anytime I'm training someone new at a facility and I know this person will, like, try to pull one over on someone, I will tell them straight up. I'll be like, hey, man, be on the lookout for this, and this. Like, you know, just try and give them a heads up. So I think I basically touched a little bit into what CNAs do. So I'm not really going to, I mean, you know, wipe some booty, take vitals, take trash out, turn and reposition every 2 hours, bathe, groom. You know, we do it all. We do what's called ADLs, activities of daily living. We help these people that can't physically do it, you know, a certain activity that they do every day for themselves. So we help assist them with doing that. Sometimes it can be a little tedious, like if someone likes their bed made a very particular way, which I didn't know was a thing until here recently, because I do have a lady who likes her bed made a certain way to a T. And I'm terrible at making beds. I just throw the blanket on, I don't tuck them. That is one thing I always hated when I was in class, was the whole hospital fold. Could never get it down. Never. And then when I actually worked at the hospital, I still couldn't get it down. But it was great there because I didn't really have to worry about making beds, because every time a patient was discharged, an environmental tech would come and flip the room, you know, clean linen, take trash out and all that. So I didn't really have to deal with that too much at the hospital. I was straight up spoiled on not having to do hospital folds. It was great. But now where I work, we gotta do the whole hospital fold, and it is stressful. But we're not gonna get too much into that. So this episode actually is almost over, so I don't want to ramble too much into a different topic. But like I said, you know, I really wanted to start a podcast for us CNAs. It's, you know, it's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure to put on somebody, you know, physically and sometimes mentally, and for a lot of people emotionally. A lot of people can't emotionally cope when someone gets sick and ends up dying. You know, when I worked at the hospital during COVID times, that's pretty much what kind of made me okay with death. You know, I was the one physically putting people into these body bags and putting toe tags on them, you know? So being at a nursing home again, I've had a lot of people pass away, and a lot of the CNAs there are like bawling their eyes out. Like, that was my woman, that was my man, they were so great. I get that, but like you also become like distance. You know it's gonna happen, so like you get sad, but you don't get too sad, you know? But it's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But I just really wanted to come on here, and I plan on having guest speakers, definitely, because my best friend, she worked as a DCA with me, and she's currently in a CNA class right now. So I plan on having her guest star on this show, and definitely my mom. You guys will love my mother. And a lot of other people that I know that just want to, you know, share some funny stories. You know, this is a very safe community for you guys. And I'm excited to watch this podcast grow and get to know each and every one of you. And if you have anything interesting that you want to tell too, like, go ahead. I'll drop my email or something, and you guys just, yeah, if you don't want your name read, or I can do like guest spots. Like, we'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. We have all the time together, okay? So, everybody, keep it safe out there, you know. Wear your mask. Have a great day, you guys. I'm on day 10 out of 11, and I only got like 6 hours of sleep. So, I'm gonna head out and probably try and take a nap, if I'm gonna be honest. Have a great day. Bye.